higher level teaching of the first HBRIC 2025. This year's conference carries a profound and inspiring theme, integrative insight into a digital innovation and ethical governance, and intersectionally in advancing authentic sustainability reporting from regulatory compliance to corporate consciousness. Through this international conference, ICMA aimed to bridge academic research, professional practice, and policy dialogue, creating a platform to discuss ethics, digitalization, and sustainability for a responsible and conscious business world. We are especially delighted to welcome our distinguished keynote speakers joining us today, Professor Dr. Susila Devi Kasupiah from University Selangor, Malaysia, and Professor Dr. Maria Widyastuti from Universitas Katolik Dharma Cendika, Indonesia. Their expertise and contribution will surely enrich our discussion on sustainability accounting, regulatory compliance, and ethical financial. We apologize in advance because one of our speakers who was scheduled to attend is unable to join us due to timing issue and will join us tomorrow session. However, this will not damp our spirit, and we sincerely appreciate their willingness and support. Okay, to open this special occasion, let us unite in pride and harmony as we sing our beloved Indonesian national anthem. To Miss Elga Yulindisti, please share your screen and play the anthem. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Now it's our honor to welcome the Vice Chairperson of ICMA, Mr. Yanuar Nugroho, MSc, to deliver the opening remarks on the behalf of ICMA Chairperson. Please welcome Mr. Yanuar Nugroho.
Thank you, Pak Gede Teguh Prasetya Mutiwijaya. Good afternoon and distinguished guests, keynote speakers, and fellow scholars. Ya, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It is a great honor for me to stand before you today on behalf of the chairperson of ICMA, Pak Raffles, who unfortunately could not be present at this event. I'm truly delighted to deliver this welcome address at the first HBRIC 2025, a milestone moment for all of us in academia and research. And allow me to extend my warm greeting to our distinguished keynote speakers from various countries Professor Dr. Susela Devi Supia from University Selangor, Malaysia. Professor Dr. Maria Widyastuti from Unika Dharma Cendika. Associate Professor June Chow from University of Southampton, United Kingdom. Prof. Cindy Yoshiko from Ibaraki University, Japan. And Professor Teresia from Unika Sugija Pranata. And also Associate Professor Hairul Anwar from the University of Wollongong in Dubai. I would also like to warmly welcome to all participants joining us on site here at Universitas Katolik Dharma Cendika Surabaya, as well as those joining virtually from around the world maybe. And this international conference marked an important milestone for ICMA in our mission to strengthen academic collaboration and contribute meaningfully to the global conversation on accounting, management, and higher education research. So the conference theme, integrative insight into digital innovation, ethical governance, and intersectionally in advancing authentic sustainability reporting from regulatory compliance to corporate consciousness. I think it's perfectly reflects the challenges and opportunities of our time. In an era where digital innovation and ethical governance intersect more closely than ever, sustainability reporting must evolve from mere regulatory compliance toward genuine corporate consciousness. So, as scholars and professionals, we are called to be agent of this transformation, bridging theory and practice, innovation and ethic, to create impact that extend beyond academia into society and business. The Each Bright 2025 conference and just an academic gathering. It is a collaborative platform, a space where ideas are exchanged, partnership are built, and inspiration grows. So I sincerely hope this event will lead to meaningful research collaboration, joint publication maybe, and also sustainability partnership, yeah, that continue long after this conference conclude. So on behalf of ICMA, I would like to express my deepest appreciation to Universitas Katolik Dharma Cendika Surabaya for hosting this event, uh, especially for Bulusi, yeah, and to all the organizing committees and international partners who have worked tirelessly to make this hybrid conference possible. And my Age Bright 2025 become a catalyst for academic excellence, ethical leadership maybe, and also global collaboration. Yeah. So thank you very much, and I wish you all an inspiring and productive conference. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Yanuar Nugroho, for the inspiring message and warm opening remarks. Before we proceed, let us begin with a gratitude and reflection. We would like to invite Mr. Sandy Yuliananto to lead us in prayer. Please welcome Mr. Sandy Yuliananto.
Thank you, Mr. Kade. Ladies and gentlemen, let us take a moment to pray. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We thank you for this wonderful day and for bringing us together from different nations and backgrounds to share knowledge, wisdom, and purpose. We are grateful for the opportunity to gather in this international conference, united by our shared commitment to learning, innovation, and collaboration. Bless every participant, speaker, and organizer who has worked tirelessly to make this event possible. Grant us open minds to receive new insight, compassionate hearts to understand one another, and courage to use our knowledge for the betterment of humanity. May this conference be filled with fruitful discussions, meaningful connections, and inspiring ideas that lead us toward a brighter and more sustainable future. Guide our talks, words, and actions so that everything we do today brings honor to your name and benefit to the world. We humbly ask this prayer in your holy name. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Thank you, Mr. Gede.
Thank you, Mr. Sandy. May today's conference bring enlightenment, inspiration, and meaningful collaboration for us all. Before we continue, allow me to kindly remind everyone of a few simple rules to ensure our event runs smoothly. Okay. Regarding the microphone and camera, first, participants must mute their microphones while the speaker are presenting, except during the Q&A session. The participants are not allowed to share their screen or to interrupt the flow of the conference without the host or committee's permission. Third, camera may be turned on when possible with a proper background and a professional appearance. And regarding the participant etiquette, first, use a polite, respectful, and professional language in the chat box or when speaking. Second, participant may ask a question via the chat feature or the raise hand feature as directed by the moderator. And third, avoid disrupting the conference by posting irrelevant comment or question. And regarding documentation and recording, first, this conference will be recorded for documentation and evaluation purposes. By participating, attendees are considered to have granted permission to be included in the conference documentation. And last one, certificate will only be granted to participants who have completed the registration form and attendance list, have attended at least 80% of the total conference duration, and paid the contribution of IDR 15,000, and have filled out the evaluation form at the end of the event. Participants who violate the code of conduct will be subject to the following sanction. First is removal from the virtual conference room by the host or committee, or second, the ineligibility to receive participation certificate, and the last one is blacklisting from future ICMA activities or event. Thank you for your cooperation and attention. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed to the next session, let's take a moment for official documentation. We kindly invite everyone to turn on their camera and smile for the documentation photo. Ms. Operator, please take the lead.
Okay, I will take the submission. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Once again. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for operator. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my greatest pleasure to introduce our moderator for today's session, Dr. Dian Widiati, SE, MAK, CSRS, CSRA, CSP, Serda, CAP, and CA. Let me read out her CV. Okay, this is Mrs. Dian Widiati CV. For her formal education, she completed her bachelor degree in University of Pamulang, and then she pursued her master degree in STIA YAI. And then lastly, She completed her doctoral degree in Trisakti University. Also, she have a lot of non-formal education, for example, tax brevet in A and B from PT Bina Fiskal Indonesia in 2014, tax brevet C from NTC in 2015, also chartered accountant in 2024 for Ikatan Akuntan Indonesia, and also certified lecturer in 2024 from Education Ministry of Indonesia. She has a lot of working experience. She served as a staff accounting in PT Indo Gafure from June 2011 until August 2011. She also served as various editor of journal and reviewer. She has a lot of achievement in competition accounting. For example, the winner of accounting competition in Government Provinsi Banten. She also has a speaker, judge, and reviewer at some of the journal. She also published a lot of articles in 2025 in accounting and taxation. As you can see here, she also published a lot of book and intellectual property right. Okay. Yeah. It's a great honor to welcome Dr. Dian Widiati, a distinguished expert in accounting and taxation. She is a dedicated lecturer, researcher, and professional. To guide us through this discussion, I'm pleased to hand over the time to our moderator, Dr. Dian Widiati. Dr. Dian, the time is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Gideo, for the introduction. Okay, let me start our conference today. To the Honorable Chairman Association of Young Accounting Scholar Ikatan Cendekiawan Muda Akuntansi, Mr. Raffles Ginting SEMAK, Chief Committee of this conference, Ms. Elga Yulindisti MAK, and also all of the committee member in this conference. To the Honorable Speaker, guests, professor, lecturer, conference delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All right, I have not heard about the response from all of you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right, you still have the spirit while this is the Friday, all right? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first international conference on building research initiative and growth in high-level teaching with terms, integrative insight into digital innovation, ethical governance, and intersectionally in advancing authentic sustainability reporting from regulatory compliance to corporate consciousness. This event is organized by the Association of Young Accounting Scholar Indonesia. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Dian Widiati. It's such an honor for me to be a moderator in this event and welcome all of you in this event. It's such a pleasure to see all of you here in this Zoom and also in Unika Cendekiawan Surabaya. Today's seminar, we will explore about how digital innovation, ethical governance, and intersectionally will work together to make sustainability reporting more meaningful and impactful. We will discuss how company can move beyond regulatory compliance toward a deeper corporate consciousness, where technology, ethics, and inclusivity drive real lasting change and strength trust, transparency, and also shared value for all stakeholders. Today, joining through Zoom, Professor Dr. Susela Devi Supia from University Selangor. Professor Susela, how are you today?
I'm good, and thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, good to see you, Prof. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Have we met
Alright.
before?
Oh, I see you on the other conference by ICMA.
Okay.
Yeah, but have not
of
met
ICMA.
offline. Yeah. All right. Prof. Susela, we have another speaker. It's Professor Dr. Maria Widyastuti from Unika Dharma Cendekia, Indonesia. Prof. Maria, how are you today?
Halo, thank you.
Ya, hai Prof. Maria, apa
Hai,
kabar?
baik, fine.
Baik. Nice to meet you, Prof.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, I hope we will meet in Surabaya around 22 or 23rd. Good
Yeah,
to see you, ya, Prof.
yeah, okay.
Okay, let me read the rules for our session today. Each speaker only have 30 minutes to present, and we will move to the next speaker. For Q&A session, you could put your question in the Q&A button in the bottom of your Zoom, and also you can speak by yourself after the presentation end. So without further ado, let's invite our first speaker, Professor Dr. Susela Devi K. Supia from University Selangor, Malaysia. Before we begin, I will introduce you to our first speaker. Miss Operator, can you share the CV from Professor Susela? All right. Professor Dr. Susela hold a PhD in accounting from University of Waikato, New Zealand. She has held prominent roles including Executive Director of Malaysian Accounting Standard Board and President of Malaysian Accounting Association. Sorry for Miss Operator, can you share the curriculum vitae from Professor Susela, please?
Okay, wait, I have some trouble.
Okay. Okay. Professor Susela, and also she has numerous publication in reputable journal. Currently, she also serves as honorary professor at University Selangor, Malaysia, and also president of the Global Association for MSME and SDGs Research. So, since we also have MSSE in Indonesia, so many MSME, so the audience could ask the question to Professor Dr. Susela about the MSME condition. So, Miss Elga, can you share the screen or you still have the trouble?
Yes, I can show.
Oh, okay. That's all right. Here is the profile from Professor Dr. Susela. She has many experience in the accounting world and also in the academic experience in academic. As you can see, she now is honorary professor from University Selangor and also president of Global Association of MSME. The topic will be presented by Prof. Susela is Sustainability Accounting and Regulatory Compliance as pillar of business continuity in the modern era. All right, Prof. Susela, are you ready?
Yes, let me share my slides.
All right, the screen is yours, Prof.
Okay, can you see the slides?
Yes, it's good for me.
Okay. All right. I would like to first of all thank the audience thank ICMA for inviting me to this conference and giving me the honor of sharing with you some of my thoughts on sustainability accounting. I would like to take this opportunity to actually congratulate ICMA for choosing this topic, because it's very important that and I'm also very happy to note that the young emerging scholars in ICMA have chosen this title, that it's looking at evolving from compliance, merely focusing on obligations, to become the very pillars of business continuity and corporate consciousness. I like the word corporate consciousness. So why is this conversation important? I think it's important for all to recognize that why are we talking about this evolution from becoming just obligations or compliance mindset to becoming a corporate consciousness? We need to reflect. Are we reporting because we must or because we care? Right? And how do regulations, culture, technology shape authentic sustainability? And what role do we as scholars and professionals play in this transformation? So it's a very important food for thought for everyone at this conference and at this session. I would like you to take away with you to think more about it. There's not really much I can share in terms of giving you information, because information is so widely available. If you go into LinkedIn, there's so much discussions about all the sustainability accounting and all that goes on. So if you're interested in this sustainability accounting and what the regulations are, there's a lot of information available. But I think every one of us as emerging scholars will need to reflect, what is our role? What role do we play in this transformation? So let me leave you with that introduction. So actually, to capture what we are going to talk about is that sustainability accounting in a modern era, we have for a long time, we have been in terms of accounting, providing financial information for decision making, we've really come very far. Now is the last few decades, there's been a lot of focus on integrating financial and non-financial performance for long-term value. But because the accounting training has been such, we have been very, very good at showing numbers, financial numbers, and looking at analysis of value based on the numbers. But when it comes to reporting non-financial performance, it's all words, qualitative disclosures. It's very difficult to make sense of what the value is. So that is a long struggle that the accounting profession have had. And as you will recognize, those who are delving into sustainability, you'll know that it's a it's an evolution that has taken place. In the initial stages in the 60s and 70s, we were talking about corporate social responsibility. How does the corporate actually give back to society? What are they doing for the society, for the community? And then that was what happened is all that work and disclosures were merely publicity drive. It's more of for the companies to actually showcase what they are doing for the community, but it's more of a PR measure. And there's really so everybody likes to say good things and no one tells the bad stories. And then the investor community wanted to know more about what exactly are the companies doing to the environment, to the society. And therefore, they came up with coined this term of ESG, environmental, social governance matrix. So this matrix was something that we'll see how companies perform in terms of their impact on environmental issues, social issues, and their governance aspects. Then, of course, simultaneously, of course, after the what was the last meeting of the COP21, they realized that, you know, if you're really serious about climate change and bringing about changes, you really need to have serious focus on what is being disclosed, what companies are doing, and what they're disclosing. So we have now come into this era of sustainability reporting. Every country has got its own, have got their own framework of sustainability reporting. And now we also coming to the, and this conference is highlighting that how can you bring in digital and technology innovation into making sense of the sustainability reporting. So you have the digital ESG. So we have also seen that in the last few years, there's been mandatory reporting trend, IFRS S1 and S2. If Indonesia adopted it, Malaysia has adopted IFRS S1 and S2. It's going to be implemented or is already being implemented for 2025 on certain disclosures. Then you have the CSRD, you have Bursa Malaysia, you also have the version in Indonesia as well. So there's a lot of these regulations that are coming up, and also not to forget, in the rest of the Western world, you have European directives on sustainability reporting disclosures. Recently, we had guidelines on greenwashing. So there's so many issues going on about reporting. For me, I feel the whole issue is because we've all the while we've been reporting financial numbers, and when you want to report non-financial numbers, it becomes a big challenge, and you need really ethics at the center of it in terms of making sure you disclose what is relevant and what is important, and not just greenwash. So that's the story of this. So as I said, because we have the sustainability accounting, so back again, I like your focus where you're talking about authentic reporting, which means authentic reporting is informed by ethical consciousness and cultural integrity. So in that context, I would also like to talk to you about our current efforts in Malaysia, where the public universities have introduced the accounting curriculum for public universities in accounting program undergraduate degree, where they have embedded in a very clear, visible manner education, character education. Because everything starts with oneself. How do you invoke your consciousness, especially accountants? How do you become ethical? You can't just take one course and learn about ethics. It has to be embedded in your purpose and in how you look at the way of things and how you behave. So that's a very important thing that I would like to share with you, that the Malaysian public universities and also the government-linked universities have started in 2025 to change their curriculum to embed ADAP. We call this ADAP. That's accounting. It's a character education called ADAP into the accounting curriculum. So hopefully we can have more collaboration in this effort, because I feel even if you do sustainability, the people who are reporting in the companies, you need to have this ethical foundation, right? How do you link, how do you evoke your consciousness? So, and cultural integrity is very critical. So I congratulate you on bringing this topic on board, but it's easier said than done. How do we actually converge with the sustainability reporting standards and actually improve comparability and credibility and bring ethics into it is something that is worth looking at. And this is and we are in this emerging phase of digital ESG. So of course, when you're saying digital, means you're using technology, you're using AI to get the data, but then AI, how do you make sure AI is ethical, that the algorithms are written and they are carried out in an ethical manner? So these are very evolving issues that young scholars should focus on. I myself am involved with a group of young researchers who are looking at AI in internal audit. How do internal auditors make a decision based on AI's recommendation? What is the algorithm? The AI will base on its algorithm and give you some recommendation, but how do you make the decision? And how do you accept the recommendation made by AI? This is the conversation that is going on going forward. So these are areas which touches very much on the topic today about ethical consciousness. And it becomes all the more relevant when you're talking about adopting technology in sustainability reporting. Let me move to the next. So I would also like to impress on you that it is important that you look at compliance as an enabler, and it's not a burden. And this mindset change needs to happen in all the preparers, in all the companies reporting, in all the future accounting students who go and work in companies. You need to have that mindset. It's not about compliance only. Compliance is a way to make sure your reporting comes on board. You disclose what's appropriate and relevant, and it should not be seen as a burden. Okay. So regulatory frameworks, if you talk about regulatory framework, there are so many regulatory frameworks. If you go into LinkedIn, a lot of posts about the many different frameworks there are. I'm not going to go into that, but it's just that they all have a certain similarity and a little differences depending on which country or which region promotes this. But all these frameworks are important to strengthen transparency and trust. I think in my last speech that I gave to ICMA, I talked about SEDG, that this SME, small medium enterprises ESG disclosure guideline that Malaysia has issued. Indonesia has similar mandates for sustainability reporting. And compliance ensures comparability and investor confidence. And I think it's time here that we go into more details when future research that scholars are embarking on, they look at how digital and forensic tools can enhance data reliability. So, and of course, as I said before, this all entails the culture as well. And you need to have a long conversation, a lot of research and engagement with industry to see how you embed moral accountability in this conversation as well. So compliance, culture, technology is here, and it's challenging, and this is the way we're going to move forward. So there is also this challenge about how do we move from compliance to corporate consciousness. It is actually a continuum of maturity. You have the first stage, which is something that we all have experienced, or in Malaysia, I've seen companies experiencing reactive compliance. They say, yeah, we have to report, so we must report because this is what the Bursa wants, so we report it. So it's a reactive compliance. Then there's this next stage where you move into strategic alignment. We report because we want to provide the information that shows we are doing good for the society, and this will attract capital. Okay, and we have, I think, moved from reactive to now is the stage, if you ask me, in Malaysia, is where the conversation is happening, is about strategic alignment. And some companies would have moved towards the third level, which is conscious transformation. We report because we care, not because Bursa, our regulator, requires us, but we want to do it because we care about what our impact on society is, what our impact on the environment is, and how. So there's this double materiality concept that they talk about. What does my company's operations, how does it impact the environment, and how does the environment impact my company's performance? So there's double materiality consciousness. that is slowly coming into the picture, and it's important that we focus on getting all those preparers from moving from one reactive compliance to actually going to conscious transformation. But that happens when you have a lot more voices calling for this change, for this evolution. And that's why I'm very encouraged to see the icma participants and the organizers have chosen this topic, because you realize that importance of moving the society and the corporate landscape to this aspect requires you to really understand how to evoke your inner consciousness and make a conscious transformation, because we care about climate change, we care about the environment. So, and I really would like to encourage you to also to look at action, call to action, as what are the things that you as scholars can do in terms of engaging to build SME capacity. In this context, as I mentioned earlier, I'm in the Global Association for MSMEs. In fact, the founder of this association is from Trisakti, Professor Toulouse. I don't know whether Dr. Dien, you know him, the late Professor Toulouse. And so he has inspired me, and we've worked so much into we when we started a few years ago, SMEs and MSMEs were thinking sustainability is not their issues for the big companies. Let the big listed companies bother about sustainability. We got to just survive. But it's come to a time when MSMEs realize that they have a role as well as being part of the supply chain to the bigger companies. So focus on action going forward. I would say build SME capacity and harness digital tools and embed ethics. This is something that this will only make sure that we sustain our sustainability reporting, right? Because we don't want it to be a fashion like CSR and then disappear. It has to sustain. It has to be meaningful and purposeful. So at this point, I just want you to reflect that true sustainability is not a report we publish. It's a conscience that we practice. Okay, so it has to come to that time. I'm not sure how many companies are actually doing this. If you ask me, from my research from Malaysian companies, we looked at the top 200 listed companies. You find that, this was like 2 years ago. They're all at different stages in terms of their maturity. Very good companies, FTSE for good, those who are ranked in there, they seem to have made that conscious effort to move to a truly practice consciously what is good for the environment. So, but then when you talk to companies, CEOs and all, they are saying they have got so many issues to deal with. Sustainability is the last in the thing, but because of the mandate with the regulatory compliance requirements, they all have to move along. So what I feel will be important for scholars to look at is really get good case studies of companies that have actually made the jump from 1 to 3 and share these stories with the other practitioners or other companies, publish these successful stories, and you can create this this momentum to move from compliance to corporate consciousness. And then this is basically a summary of my talk to you, and I hope you find it useful. And that's all from me, but it's something I want to leave with you. Is I don't want to give a big lecture of all those information which is overload, but just to the gist of it, that how relevant it really matters that we move beyond compliance and move towards invoking consciousness. And we have all these good cases of companies that are successful, and this is what scholars should focus on: building, engaging, and educating the companies or preparers of what doing well by doing good. And it's really good for companies to reflect on this. So that's all I have to share with you. And I'm open to questions of what exactly you can do. Right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Prof. Susela, for the your presentation is very great. Thank you so much for your sharing. Let's give round applause for Professor Dr. Susela. Maybe the audience can give the reaction in the Zoom. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Prof. Susela, for the Q&A session, we will do on the end of the session, yeah, Prof. So, yeah, we need to hear about the presentation from Professor Maria first, and we will continue for the Q&A session. Is it okay, Prof. Susela?
Yes, no.
Okay. By the way, you mentioned about Professor Tulus.
Yes, Professor Tulus.
Tulus Tambunan. Is it?
Tambunan. Yes.
Yeah. He is my professor in the Trisakti University, Prof.
Okay. It's so sad
Yeah.
that he passed away at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I had to take on his role as the president.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. His research and focus for the
MSME.
community service is about the MSME. Yeah. But he already passed away. Yeah. Yeah, Prof. Okay, thank you, Prof. Susela. Let's invite our second speaker for today, Professor Dr. Maria Widyastuti from Unika Dharma Cendika, Surabaya, Indonesia. Prof. Maria, are you ready?
Thank you, Miss Dian. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Prof. How are you, Prof?
Fine.
Well, fine. Okay, before Prof. Maria begin, I will introduce Prof. Maria to all of our audience. Maybe Miss Operator could share the screen for the curriculum vitae Professor Dr. Maria. Where is Miss Elga? Can you share the screen, please? Yeah, Professor Dr. Maria Widyastuti, MM, is a distinguished academic specializing in financial management, currently serving as Vice Rector for Academic Affairs at Universitas Katolik Dharma Cendika, Indonesia. She has extensive experience as Dean and Head of Research and Community Service. Her research focus on financial literacy, MSME performance, and corporate governance, with numerous publications in reputable international journals. The topic that will be presented by Prof. Maria today is From Literacy to Accountability, the Role of Ethical Financial Access in Supporting MSME Sustainability. Right. Prof. Maria, are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, Prof. Maria, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Miss Dian.
Yeah.
The first, I would like to thank to ICMA for giving me confidence in this event. This topic is about accountable financial management, where not only focus on financial profit, but also social, environment, and good government impact to support sustainability. Challenge of potential of MSMEs in sustainability. Micro, small, and medium enterprises are a business group that has a large percentage of contribution in Indonesia. The advantage of this group are proven to be resilient to economic shocks. So it's necessary to strengthen MSMEs have a big role, namely employment absorption and the formation of gross domestic product. The business scale targeted by MSMEs is still small, but many actors are comfortable doing this business because of its advantage. The advantage are easy of adoption and implementation of new technology, innovation in business, no complicated bureaucracy, and learn organization structure so that coordination and communication between management level are easy to do, and business flexibility to easily adapt to economic market condition. The role of MSMEs includes main driver the national economy. It accounts for 99% of total business and a key driver of country's economy. It contributes significantly to gross domestic product, accounting 61%, play a crucial role in economic growth and absorb 97% of the national workforce, making it the key employment sector. Number two, improving community welfare, providing for various types of job and business opportunities, helping to improve the standard of living, expanding employment opportunities, creating new jobs, which unlimitedly contribute to reducing unemployment and improving people welfare. Important pillar in time of crisis. A key pillar of the economy during time of crisis. Flexibility and adaptability, unable to survive and even through in difficult economic conditions. During an economic crisis, it helped maintain public welfare by ensuring economic activity continues, especially in rural areas. Development on innovation and entrepreneurship. MSMEs are short of innovation and entrepreneurship. Many new ideas are tested and developed. Then relatively small-scale effort, namely flexibility in innovate without being tied to bureaucracy. Many product and service and business process innovation originate from MSMEs. They also serve an incubator for young entrepreneurs seeking to develop their business skill. Role in women empowerment. Many MSMEs are owned and managed by women, particularly in the informal sector. Through entrepreneurship, women earn their own income, which contributes to improving family well-being and strengthening their role in society. Women involvement in MSMEs have reduced the gender gap in the economy, a goal of sustainable development. In addition to the role above, MSMEs also face challenges, namely low financial literacy. The impact of low financial literacy, declining business performance. Poor financial management skill lead to operational inefficiencies, wasteful spending, and irrational decision-making. Consequently, profit margin decline and productivity decline. Obstructed growth and expansion. Without the ability to prepare financial plan, MSMEs unable to create a good investment strategy, fail to inspect the market. It's hard to move up from micro to small or small to medium. Difficulty in outstanding external capital financing. Investor and financial institutions tend to unwilling to channel capital to MSMEs with non-transparent financial report. assess the MSS a high-risk business, vulnerable to bankruptcy. The absence of risk management and preparedness to face economic fluctuation makes MSMEs not resilient to financial crisis, pandemic, inflation, and recession. Failure to maintain business continuity in difficult situations, lagging behind in innovation and competitiveness. MSMEs are unable to utilizing financial technology or business digitalization, improving efficiency through product and process innovation, losing out to compete with more modern companies. Fail to become a sustainable business. Without financial literacy, long-term financial planning cannot be done. There is no capital compensation and reinvestment strategy. Business tend to stagnate or close before rising sustainability. Seeing the above consequence, increasing literacy is very necessary. Solution offered: financial education and training, utilization of financial technology, product and service standardization, and improving human resources quality. Finally, increasing financial literacy of MSMEs can overcome the challenge faced and achieve greater with potential, which will ultimately make a positive contribution to the economy. The importance of organized financial regarding for MSMEs. Monitoring cash flow, knowing the financial position, making informed decision, and getting funding. Having financial record help MSMEs manage their business more effectively, reduce risk, and increase their chain of success. Key question: are MSMEs able to adapt sustainability reporting? MSMEs are indeed capable of adapting sustainability reporting, although there are several challenges that need to be overcome. MSMEs have a great potential to implement sustainable practice and positively impact the economic, society, and environment. Potential of MSMEs in sustainability reporting: flexibility and adaptability. MSMEs tend to be more flexible and adaptable to change, including in implementing sustainability practice and reporting. Positive impact: MSMEs can make a significant contribution to achieving sustainable development goals, especially in poverty reduction, improving welfare, and inclusive economic growth. Increased competitiveness: by adopting sustainability reporting, MSMEs can improve their reputation, attract investor, and expand market access. Challenge faced by MSMEs: resource limitation, lack of understanding,
Iya, betul.
regulatory challenge.
Soalnya saya dulu tuh Pak, terus terang dikasih itu sama Pak Wirawan, Mas. Pak Wirawan.
Sorry, Prof. Maria. Halo, Prof. Maria. I think, yeah. Okay, you unmute. Okay, thank you, Prof.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay, Prof. You can continue. Yeah.
Solution to encourage adoption: sustainability reporting for MSMEs, education training, mentoring, simplifying standard and technology utilization. Finally, despite the challenges, MSMEs have significant potential to adopt sustainability reporting. With the right support, they can play an active role in driving sustainable economic and contributing in the achievement in global development goals. Financial literacy is a foundation, business ethics and sustainability. Business ethics and sustainability are interrelated. Business ethics, encompassing moral principles and values, in conducting business. On the basis for sustainable business, sustainability in this context refer to a business ability to operate sustainably without neglecting social, economic, and environmental aspects. Business ethics as a foundation for sustainability. Strong business ethics help companies build a good reputation, increase the trust of customer and business partner, and ensure sustainable operation. Sustainable business practice. The application of business ethics in daily operation, resource management, stakeholder relation, and social responsibility will contribute to long-term sustainability. Sustainability requires business ethics. To achieve sustainability, companies need to apply ethics principles in all aspects: decision making, risk management, and interaction with the environment. Benefit is sustainable business ethics, strong reputation, customer trust, competitive advantage, sustainable growth. Business ethics and sustainability are inseparable. Business ethics form the foundation for sustainable business practice. While sustainability requires the application of business ethics in all aspects of a company's operation. By implementing ethical business principles, a company can create a positive business environment, build a strong reputation, and achieve sustainable growth. Literacy, ability to understand debt, interest, and risk management. Financial literacy is the ability to understand and manage finances effectively, including debt, interest, and risk management. This includes knowledge of budgeting, saving, investing, and understanding various financial products. Good financial literacy helps individuals make wise financial decisions, avoid unnecessary debt, and achieve their financial goals. The impact of having high financial literacy. Financial decision making. High financial literacy helps individuals understand basic financial concepts, such as cash management, budget planning, and financial risks. They are better able to make informed decisions and avoid unethical practices, such as embezzlement or financial statement manipulation. Business sustainability. MSMEs that adhere to ethical financial management practice tend to be more sustainable. They are better able to maintain financial stability, manage risk, and build a positive reputation with customer, investor, and financial institution. Importance of education and training. Improving financial literacy in MSMEs require targeted education and training program. This can help them understand sound financial principles, improve their financial management skill, and ultimately encourage more ethical decision making in running their business. Thus, financial literacy is not only important for business sustainability, but also to ensure that MSMEs run ethically and responsibly. Literacy is a beginning of accountability-based governance. In the context of accountability-based governance, literacy plays a crucial role in creating good and responsible governance. Literacy enables citizens to understand their rights and obligations and monitor government performance. Without literacy, accountability will be difficult to achieve because citizens lack the ability to understand and demand accountability for those in power. Implication of lack of literacy. Low participation, abuse of power, injustice. The role of the government in improving literacy. Provision and information, literacy education, and capacity building. Thus, literacy is not just the ability to read and write, but is also the key to realizing effective and sustainability accountability-based governance. Ethical and inclusive financial access, a path toward MSMEs transformation. What is ethical finance access? Ethical finance access refers to a situation where everyone has access to affordable, quality, and appropriate formal financial service in a fair and transparent manner. This includes not only the availability of service, but also people understand and ability to utilize and effectively to improve their well-being. Ethical and inclusive finance access mean everyone has access to affordable, safe, and tailored financial service. This includes a range of products and services, such as saving, loans, insurance, and payment, offered responsibly and sustainably. The goal is to empower communities, reduce poverty, and promote sustainable economic growth. Key element of financial access to ethical and inclusive accessibility, quality of service, financial literacy, justice and equality, good governance. The relationship between credit term and the ability to grow sustainability. The relationship between credit term and the ability to grow sustainably is that good credit term can facilitate sustainable business growth, while poor term can hinder or damage a business ability to grow. Loan with affordable terms such as low interest rate and long term can provide companies with greater financial flexibility to make long-term investment, develop new product, and reach broader market. This can increase a company's productivity, competitiveness, and profitability, which are critical factors for sustainable growth. Conversely, if credit terms are too stringent, interest rates are high, or the term are short, business will struggle to meet their payment obligation, which can lead to cash flow problem, decreased profitability, and even bankruptcy. This condition hinder a company's ability to invest, thus hindering in sustainability growth. The impact of credit access on improving business performance, investment and expansion, working capital, and business growth. The importance of good credit management, understanding risk, mature financial planning, monitoring, and evaluation. Thus, well-managed credit access can be a catalyst for improved business performance and better financial reporting, ultimately contributing to business sustainability and growth. Financial accountability is the basis for sustainability reporting. Financial accountability is the basis of sustainability reporting, which include information on social, environmental, and economic impact, requiring a strong foundation of financial accountability to ensure transparency and credibility. The importance of financial accountability in sustainability reporting, transparency, credibility, decision-making, improve sustainability performance, and compliance. Credit access as an incentive for better reporting to stakeholders. Easier access to credit can be an effective incentive to encourage better reporting to stakeholders. When MSMEs have access to financing, they are motivated to present transparent and accurate financial report to meet credit requirements and maintain their reputation with lenders. Explain the relationship between credit access and better reporting. Credit requirement, ongoing monitoring, financial reputation, better decision making, and more efficient business management. Thus, easier access to credit can serve as a catalyst for MSMEs to improve their financial reporting practice, ultimately benefiting MSMEs, lender, and the entire business ecosystem. Women MSME players and those with low education often face obstacles. Limited access to capital and financing. Women MSMEs have difficult gaining access to formal financial institutions due to a lack access that can be used as collateral and because of complicated administrative requirements. Number two, lack of knowledge about entrepreneurship. And the last, difficult to managing business promotion. Effort to overcome obstacles. The government and related institutions need to improve financial literacy and entrepreneurship training for women MSMEs. Facilitate access to funding through programs that are more inclusive and accessible to women. Encourage the use of digital technology for marketing and business management. Creating a community forum for women SME actors to share experience and get support. By overcome obstacles, women MSME can contribute more to the economic and achieve greater economic independence. Segmented financial literacy policies and programs are needed. Segmented financial literacy policies and programs are crucial because different groups have different needs and level of understanding. Effective financial literacy requires an approved talent to this demographic characteristic, education level, financial experience, and specific needs of each segment. With segmented approach, financial literacy program can be designed to be more relevant, effective, and have positive impact to the recipient. Reason why financial literacy need to be segmented. Number one, different need, differences in understanding level, and disparities in access. Segmented financial literacy policies and programs are an important step to ensure everyone has the opportunity to improve their financial literacy and make better financial decisions. Digitalization become the solution fintech. Digitalization offers solutions for various sectors, including in fintech. Fintech, which facilitate financial access, refer to the use of technology to provide more efficient and affordable financial service. This includes digital payment, online loan, and investment management. Fintech help people who previously lacked access to formal financial service and increase financial inclusion. Fintech plays a role in improving public financial literacy. Example of fintech companies in Indonesia include GoPay, OVO, Link Aja, and various online lending platforms. Conclusion and recommendation. Financial literacy and ethical financial access are key to sustainability and accountability. Digitalization must be utilized and democratic access and reporting. Stockholder, government, financial institution, and academic need to work together to build a sustainable ecosystem for MSMEs. That's my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for Professor Dr. Maria for your sharing with the great topic. Let's give round of applause for Professor Dr. Maria, the audience. Maybe can give the reaction from the Zoom. Thank you. And also, we will move to the next session about the question and answer. Hello, Prof. Susela.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, we have moved to the Q&A session. We have very limited time, but our conference teams is very kind and generous to give us time for Q&A session. Why don't I will see in the chat box. Is there any? Okay, Miss Pascanova, do you want to speak directly to our speaker, Miss Pascanova? Miss Pascanova have. Okay, I will read her question. The question is for Professor Susela. Good afternoon, Prof. Susela. How to identify the type of business that should report their environment performance? For example, the fishermen who always take fish from the sea. How can they report the sea performance? What's the benefit for them? Does the environment reporting are only for big companies? Thank you, Prof. That's the question from Ms. Pascanova. Prof. Susela, please.
Ms. Pescanova, thank you for the questions. Very interesting. If I can recall, from my experience in New Zealand, for example, they're very, because a lot of the fishermen, they rely on the fish from the sea, but they also, in New Zealand, they had this regulation that the fishermen should fish only must not exhaust the fish, right? There's some regulations like what is the size of the fish that they should actually fish for. If it's smaller than a certain size, they throw it back because they want to make sure the sustainability of the supply of fish in the waters. And similarly, there are a lot of environmental rules that the fishermen would have to follow. So these are things which they need to consciously do this following, but there's no reporting for them, right? That's what I think the idea of moving sustainability reporting, not from just a reporting perspective, but to actually practicing it, because as a strategic practice, it's good for them as well, because if they don't exhaust the fish in the sea, they will have more fish to continuously fish, right? So taking care of the sea and the environment would be very helpful for them. They have to see why it is meaningful for them to have sustainable practices. So I'm not exactly answering your question, because the big companies, of course, they have got their rules to follow, but of course the fishermen have their own community, right? So that will be a different approach. It has to be, I think it has to be the whole of society. It cannot be big companies and small companies. Everybody lives in this earth, and we got in this planet, and we got to make sure the planet is around, right? We have a responsibility for to making sure the planet is sustainable. So maybe it's a long answer, but what I'm getting at is the fishermen shouldn't be worrying about whether they need to report. I'm sure the fishermen practice good sustainable practices, actually. So they know why they are doing what they're doing, So it's not about the practice of fishing is sustainable. And they don't have to report, but who is their stakeholder is themselves, right? Because if they do sustainable practices, then they can ensure that they have fish to fish for a long time, right? So you have to take it. You have to look at the substance, right? What is the issue and why they should be reporting? Is there any other? I hope I've answered your question. I don't really have an answer why fishermen should report, but fishermen should be ethical in terms of their practice of sustainability.
Okay, thank you for
Thank
the
you,
answer,
Prof.
Prof. Yeah, Ms. Pascanova, that's the answer from Professor Susela. And also for the others, is there anyone to give the question or discuss with our speaker?
Yes. From my side, I'm Pascual da Costa Oliveira. I have
Okay.
chat in the chat addressed to Professor Dr. Susela Dewi Supiati. Good afternoon, Prof. I'm Pascual da Costa Oliveira from Dili, Timor-Leste. And this is a new team from a newborn country like Timor-Leste. My fundamental question is very simple. What is the best icma best practice for a newborn country like Timor-Leste, LDC, the less developed country or fragile countries, and then what standard for their those country like that, and then to use as their based on their nature and their culture and local or national content. Thank you.
I am not sure if I really understood your question, but you're coming from Timor-Leste.
Yeah, I'm coming from Timor-Leste. I will repeat it. my country is a newborn country, and these things is very relevant to my country. And then we just developed the system few months ago with the UNTAD, United Nations Development and Trade, but not yet going smoothly. But as I'm accounting from Airlangga University, I just graduated last month. I need any analysis of perspective from your prof side so that I can contribute maximally for Timor-Leste. My question is, what is the best practice or standard for a newborn country, especially for LDC, less developed country or fragile countries like Timor-Leste, so that they cannot. Here, Timor-Leste is a lot of international, but something that we need is have to relevance with culture, like Prof said, and then and the nature of Timor-Leste, and as a neighbor country, which is sweet, and we will apply it in this country. Thank you.
Well, your question is very relevant coming from Timor-Leste, and you're conscious. And I've always been a proponent of making sure whatever standards or practices you adopt, it takes into account the local nuances and the best practice for the local community. So for us to come up with the best is you need to find out what is the purpose of them reporting. What do you want to achieve? You can't do everything that the developed world is doing, but what is good practices that you can adopt for your own country? So that means a lot of engagement with your stakeholders, and education of stakeholders before you jump into reporting or adopting a framework. You need to engage with the local community to find out what is the issue, what are the areas you need to focus on to provide guidance, not just copy everything from developed country, but tailor your own framework for your own community. That would be my advice, because I think what is missing in a lot of the research is that engagement with the local community, the stakeholders, right? If I'm a company operating in Timor-Leste, who are my stakeholders? Who is going to be the most affected by my operations? And how can I contribute to creating value in my operation? So to start that, you need to talk to your stakeholders, find out what's the concerns, how can you improve the livelihood of the community, and there you then start working on what you would do, what is your sustainability practice, for example. So in the GRI, in the developed world, the standards and all that totally start with stakeholder engagement. But I find that companies are not doing that. They're not engaging with their stakeholders. They're just copying the these requirements and just reporting without actually talking to their stakeholders. And so I find one of our research where we talk to stakeholders, a lot of interesting issues actually come out, which is not addressed by the regulators, because no one really actually engages with the stakeholders at the community level. Yeah, so that would be my advice. You're coming from Airlangga, you have a center, Professor Iman.
Prof Iman.
My prof.
Prof Iman, so look at doing more grounded research and getting the stakeholders' feedback. That will be helpful. Don't impose all the developed country standards on Timor-Leste.
Thank you. Terima kasih banyak, Prof.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Sosela, for the answer. Maybe Prof. Maria can add from your side about how the best practice for the developing countries such as Timor-Leste, Prof. Is there any additional sides from yours?
I'm sorry, Miss Tian and Miss Susela, and it is not my conference to my research that I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
Oh, okay, Prof. Okay. Yeah. Maybe That's from Prof. Susela, how the best practice in the countries such as Timor-Leste. So we need to focus for materiality, yeah, Prof. Susela. Materiality that very important for the each country because we
Yeah.
cannot compare each Indonesia, Timor-Leste, Malaysia, or Singapore in each ASEAN regional ASEAN. We cannot compare each other because each country have focus for the materiality topic.
Yeah,
Yeah, Prof.
yeah, their own issues. Yeah. And I
Yes.
also would like to encourage our emerging scholars to look at, because I'm coming from accounting, right? I like to see how our small, medium practitioners, the small accountants with small accounting practice, how do they guide their SME clients, in terms of sustainability? I think IFAC, the International Federation of Accountant, calls on the small, medium enterprises, small, medium practitioners, the accounting firms, small accounting firms, to help their clients, SME clients. But in our research, my PhD student did in Malaysia, we found that SMPs are not really interested in sustainability. They are more interested, or they're more focusing their efforts on compliance and collecting fees from their clients, doing the new regulatory compliance, that they have not ventured really into sustainable practices and furthermore educating their clients on sustainability. So that could be something that if you all are interested, you could examine that from an Indonesian perspective. How responsive are the small, medium practitioners, accountants, in helping their MSME clients, to become more sustainable?
Yeah, Prof. Agree. So for MSME sustainability, is it possible for them to do greenwashing, Prof?
Yeah. I mean, why they want to do greenwashing if they do it really sincerely? That's why your topic is about ethical consciousness. If they do it for the good of the environment, they're going to benefit from it. So they must be convinced. They don't have to do greenwashing. They have to do the right thing, right? But people do greenwashing like the big companies because they're compelled by regulation to disclose certain things, but they are not doing it. So they actually make up stories. But for for SMEs and smaller companies, they actually have to do the right thing first for their own business. I have a lot of cases where SMEs start doing the right thing and they find that they're actually more profitable because they're doing the right thing. They didn't have any regulations to follow, but they did the right practice and they then benefit in the future. So these are the kind of cases you need to show to others. Hey, look, ABC did this and they're doing very well. You also can do the same kind of practice. So they don't focus on compliance, but rather on ethical consciousness, doing the thing right because they want to do it right. They must want to do the right thing. So this is where I think the research should be pushing for more engagement with the practice, with companies and with practitioners is important.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Susela. It's very interesting. I would like to see how your research about the MSME and sustainability, and also the attendance could go to Google Scholar of yours, yeah, Prof, to see your research about the sustainability.
Yeah, it's coming because the study has not been published yet. I'm just learning from my student. My student is working on it. She's going for her Viva and run that, and then she will publish the study. Hopefully we will get on this, but I'm always proposing for MSMEs and SMEs to actually ask their auditors, their accountants to help them with their sustainability journey. But in Malaysia's case, they're just starting out very late. But I don't know about Indonesia. So that's why I'm hoping that more people will do this research. We can do collaborative, comparative research as well.
Yeah, actually, in Indonesia, we already adopt for the IFRS S1 and S2, but it's still voluntary for Indonesia for the implementation, but we already have the regulation for that one.
Yeah, we may have regulation, but whether they really understand why they are doing it, that's why the danger is you do because it's regulated and you need to disclose, but are you really doing your strategic alignment, strategic reporting? That is the big danger of, and that's when greenwashing comes in, because they don't really understand, because it's a lot of hard work getting the data and all that for reporting.
Yeah. All right, Prof. Okay, Prof. Susela, thank you for your explanation. Yeah, is there anyone to asking for the speaker? I check the chat box. No one? Okay. How is it, the audience? Is there anyone to asking? As Pak Gede, do you want to asking to the speaker?
Yeah, can I ask a question to
Yeah,
Professor Susila Devi and Professor
Uh-huh.
Maria?
yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm studying and doing a research regarding tax compliance among the MSMEs. What are your suggestions regarding the MSMEs tax compliance and the relation between tax compliance and sustainability reporting? And what can be improved, or what can the MSMEs do to increase the tax compliance and also to maintain the sustainability reporting? That's my question. Thank you, Ibu Dian.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Gede, for your question. Maybe Prof. Susela or Prof. Maria first. They would like to respond.
Yeah, it's an interesting question, MSMEs and tax compliance and the relationship with sustainability reporting. But it's a bit too early for me to actually, for you to get data on this, because SMEs are just embarking on in its voluntary sustainability reporting. Where are you going to get the data? More important, is an interesting question, but how are you going to find your answer, your data, where you're going to collect it? Is it going to be a quantitative or qualitative research? Because the way it is, without data, you can then, without secondary data, your next best bet is to actually do interviews and seek this answer. So I'm not too sure whether you have access to the data. But it's definitely worth exploring, provided you can get access to the data. Does that answer your question?
I see, Prof. So it's depending on the data, right? What my research.
It's an interesting question, but I know the difficulty of getting data for SMEs on terms of their tax compliance as one part, and the other is the sustainability reporting. If they're still voluntary and they don't have to do sustainability reporting, what data can you get?
I see, Prof.
What's
So
the source of your data?
maybe doing interview, right?
Yeah, then it will be
Yes,
a very inductive, qualitative research, understanding whether they understand why they need to do sustainability reporting, and whether they think whether companies that are doing sustainability reporting are also complying with tax better. So this will need to be a qualitative research first, because and the other part, of course, may be mixed method, but then you need to do the survey them. And how do you measure the sustainability reporting quality? So there's quite a bit of challenges in this aspect. Unless you can access the sustainability report and you have a benchmark to measure the quality of the reporting, right? And the next part is you got to relate it to their compliance, tax compliance. That's another challenge.
I see. Thank you, Prof. Because there is a data challenges. So this research should be more suitable for qualitative research. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you for the insightful advice, Prof.
You did question, Prof. Susela. Prof. Maria, how your staff?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gede. Mr. Gede. I think MSMAS in Indonesia still primary survival oriented rather than sustainability driven. And however, strengthen financial literacy and tax compliance is a necessary foundation before moving toward credibility sustainability reporting. I think that's.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Maria, for the insightful answer. So, tax compliance is also like a foundation of the sustainability report. Yeah, that's what I get from your answer. Thank you. I get back to Ibu Dian. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Prof. Maria, for your answer. Prof. Susela, we have great discussion today. Okay, I will check in the chat box. Is there any question? I think there is no question. I can count maybe 3, 2, 1. Okay, there is no question from the audience, but you can ask directly to Prof. Susela. Prof. Susela is very kind. She is share her private email, so you can asking about the your next research or others to Prof. Susela and also Prof. Maria in this session of Zoom and later in the private way. So we are coming to the end of session. Let's have final words from our speaker for today's session. Just only 1 or 2 sentences. Why don't we start from Professor Susela? Prof?
Yeah, as I said in the chat box, it's a very important topic and very important to remember that the true measure of sustainability is not in how well we report, but in how sincerely we act. So each of you, as educators, researchers, and practitioners, you have the power to build bridges between technology, integrity, and culture. To do so, and you can ensure that sustainability becomes not just a policy but a practice of conscience. So thank you so much, and I hope to look forward to a continued dialogue on this matter.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Susela, from your closing remarks, and also Prof. Dr. Maria Widyastuti.
Thank you,
Please, Prof.
Vivian. The presentation emphasizes that financial literacy and ethical, inclusive financial access are essential foundation for building accountable, sustainable MSMAS, where education technology and good governance collectivity empower small business, especially women, lead one to exchange transparency, resilience, and long-term growth. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Ms.
Prof.
Dian.
Maria. Yeah, thank you so much for your closing remarks. Okay, should we give the round of applause for the 2 women that very great from her sharing today? Okay, thank you, everyone. So I am humble student of sustainability in Indonesia and also an extremely humble student of our speaker today. I'm really appreciate for your effort and thank you so much everyone for your contribution. I will pass this session to the host, Pak Gede. Thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Dian, for your exceptional guidance throughout today's discussion. And we deeply appreciate the time and effort you dedicated to leading this discussion. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the conclusion of the day 1 of the International Conference on Building Research Initiative and Growth in Higher Level Teaching, or the first ICBRIC 2025. We kindly invite you to join us again tomorrow for another engaging session. And on behalf of the ICMA Conference Committee, we would like to extend our deepest appreciation To all our distinguished speakers, Prof. Dr. Susila Devi and Prof. Dr. Maria Widyastuti, for their invaluable contribution and insight. We also thank the moderator and participant and the committee for their invaluable contribution over this insightful international conference. We hope that the knowledge shared and discussion held throughout this conference will inspire new ideas, collaboration, and advancement in sustainability reporting, ethical governance, and innovation. Also, I would like to remind you all, please make sure to fill the attendance and evaluation link sent in the chat box to confirm your participation and share your valuable feedback. This officially concludes the International Conference 2025 Day 1, organized by ICMA. Thank you once again, and we look forward to welcoming you all in our future ICMA events. Have a wonderful day, and thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.